Hey there folks, welcome to the channel and welcome to Celebrate Sausage, a series designed to level up your sausage making skills and introduce you to an entirely new world of sausages. This series was sponsored by The Sausage Maker, so if you need any sausage making equipment or supplies, The Sausage Maker is a one-stop shop. Be sure to check the description box below for a link to their website. Now let's talk about today's episode. Today we are going to be making the most famous sausage to ever come out of Cumbria, England. It's called the Cumberland Sausage. The most distinctive feature about this sausage is that it's coiled rather than linked. And the recipe that we're going to be making today came from a butcher in that area. So thanks for joining me on this episode. The recipe link for the Cumberland Sausage will be in the description box below. Let's get into it. Okay, let's get started and make this Cumberland sausage. First thing we want to do is just tighten up the edge on our knife. A nice sharp knife is your best friend when cutting meat, and we're going to use a ceramic honing rod to make that happen. So literally just a few passes on each side, 3 passes on each side, and we have a razor sharp knife again. This is brilliant. Give it a wipe just in case there's any residual metal filings, and let's take a look at our meat. So you can mix the meat up for this sausage. We're going to be using pork shoulder. We also have a little pork belly, and we're going to be using some pork back fat. We're looking for a fat content of about 20-25%, so you can mix and match to make that happen. But you will find a link in the description box for this recipe, so be sure to check it out. All the details, all the ingredients, everything you need to know. Cut your meat and fat into pieces that are small enough to fit into your grinder, and once you get all that cut up, we want to go ahead and place that back into the freezer because we want it nice and cold, anywhere between 30 and 32 Fahrenheit. So into the freezer it goes. Let's take a look at our spices. We've got salt, a little white pepper, we've got dried sage and dried thyme, and then we're going to finish it up with a little nutmeg and mace. And that's what our spice profile is going to look like. You know, you can add different herbs if you want. One particular ingredient that is synonymous with a Cumberland sausage is rusk. This is a yeastless bread that we made, pulsed it in the food processor to turn it into breadcrumbs. Rusk is going to retain a lot of moisture. It's going to give us a nice juicy sausage, and it's going to give us a very interesting and unique texture. So I'm just going to rehydrate that with the water that the recipe calls for. Give it a little stir, and then we're just going to set that to the side because our meat should now be properly chilled. At this point, the temperature of your meat should be below 32 degrees Fahrenheit, very important. And I'm going to grind this on a medium coarse plate, 6 millimeter. Really anything between a 6 and 8 millimeter is fine. The smaller your plate is, the finer the texture is going to be. So let's go ahead and get this ground up, and then we'll finish the sausage. There we go. What a beautiful grind. Our meat is nice and loose. Our fat is intact, and that's exactly what we're looking for. Let's get this mixed up. Now, one thing you do want to remember is that the temperature of your meat during the grinding and mixing is very important. So just make sure the temperature of your meat is still very cold, ideally under about 34 degrees. All right, so let's just add our spices. And we're going to add our rusk and give this a mix. And what we're looking for at this stage is for our ground meat to basically transform into more of a sticky batter. So right now the meat is very loose, as you can see. And as we mix it, the salt is going to be interacting with the meat, extracting a couple proteins called myosin and actin, which form a glue-like matrix. And that's what's going to make your batter very sticky. That's what gives your sausage its characteristic bind. You're going to know you have good protein extraction when you go to grab just a small handful of it and it sticks to your hand. It's going to be a very sticky batter. And there we go. So when you hold your hand upside down, it should hang there. And when that happens, you are good to go. Now at this point, our sausage is done. You can either patty this up and make fresh sausages out of it, but the Cumberland sausage is traditionally put into a casing, and that's what we're going to do right now. So let's go ahead and fill up our hopper. And we want to pack it in there nice and tight. We don't want a whole lot of air pockets. I'm just going to put a little lubrication on that O-ring. And for the casing, I'm going to be using some sheep casing, 26-28 millimeter. That should be 28. It's a typo. This is from the Sausage Maker, and it's going to make a great Cumberland sausage. But you could use whatever size casing you want. We're going to dip the end of that casing into the water, fill it up with water a bit, and using the same water, we're going to lubricate our stuffing horn. That's going to allow that sausage casing to slide on effortless. And that's really what you want. If you're having a very difficult time sliding it on, you might want to reduce the size of your horn or maybe lubricate it a little bit more with some more water. But it should slide on just like so. And once you get it on there nice and easy, you should be able to move it back and forth without any problem. If this is what your casing looks like on your horn, you are good to go. And it's now time to stuff our sausage. And there we go, nice and easy. Now what we're going to do here is just place this into the refrigerator overnight. It's going to allow the flavors to marry, and it's going to dry that casing up a little bit. Tomorrow we're going to pull it out of the fridge and go ahead and cook it up. Now if you do notice a couple little air pockets, I'm going to poke them out with a little sausage pricker. No big deal. All right, into the fridge it goes. We'll see you tomorrow. The Cumberland sausage, first taste, I gotta tell you, I'm loving the color, loving the texture. It looks absolutely beautiful. It smells great, very herbaceous. Let's just give it a bite. That's a delicious sausage. You know, it's kind of like a break from some of those sausages that have those super intense flavors. It's juicy, casing is very tender, the texture is extraordinary, and I hope you get a chance to make it. If you have any questions about this Cumberland sausage, leave them in the comment section below. If you got anything out of this video, a thumbs up is always helpful. If you're new to this channel and you enjoy eating sausages, making sausages, meat preservation, take a moment and click that subscribe button and that notification bell so you don't miss a single episode. Stay tuned because tomorrow, same time, same place, we've got another episode for you to enjoy here at Celebrate Sausage. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.